السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأصلي وأسلم على من أرسله الله رحمة وهداية ونورا للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا دائما متصلا إلى يوم الدين. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Lord of the worlds, and may Allah's peace and blessings be upon the last and the seal of all the prophets and messengers, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, upon his family, companions, and upon whoever follow his footsteps to the day of judgment. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to the second part of the Fiqh of fasting. Today, inshallah, we're going to highlight a very important topic under the title of Breakers of Fasting. Breakers of Fasting. Yesterday, we talked about the meaning of the word fasting, and we said that fasting means to stop doing something. Fasting means to stop doing something, to abstain from doing something. So, when you abstain from eating, drinking, and the other breakers of fasting from the dawn to the sunset, this is the actual meaning of fasting the month of Ramadan. This is the actual meaning of fasting during the month of Ramadan. And we say that fasting the month of Ramadan is an obligation or a recommendation? Obligation. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, meaning that Siyam during the month of Ramadan was made obligatory upon you, and it was made obligatory upon those nations before you. So, Brother Sufyan, Siyam other than Ramadan is recommended or obligation?
Other than Ramadan?
Yes. Yeah, so we have just the 30 days or 29 days of Ramadan are the obligatory fasting that a Muslim must do. Yes. So, we also speak about the intention, and we say that one niyyah is enough for fasting the month of Ramadan, or one must make niyyah for every day. Huh? Yes. Both of them, yeah. Some scholars say that just one niyyah is enough. Others say that you are supposed to make niyyah for every day during the month of Ramadan. I'm going to ask you a question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepares those who make correct fasting for him in the month of Ramadan, that He subhanahu wa ta'ala would admit them into Jannah, right? What is the particular door from which the Sa'imun, those who are observing fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would enter the Jannah? Once again, how many doors, how many gates are to the Jannah?
All 7 gates.
Huh? 7 or 8? 7 or 8 for Jannah. So, Sinani said 12. Brother Sufyan said 7. Huh? 7. So, let's go back to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in which He said, whosoever makes wudu, and after his wudu is gonna say, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. The 7 or 8 or 12. So it's 8. So the doors of Jannah are 8, or the gates to Jannah are 8. What is the title, what is the name of the gate through which as-Sa'imun, those who observe fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would enter? Father of Inayah? Yeah, what is Ri? Ar-Rayyan. Yeah, it's called the Rayyan. Ar-Rayyan. Yes, Ar-Rayyan. Just a moment, pay more attention. Ar-Rayyan. Ar-Rayyan in Arabic language means that when a person is very thirsty, he wants to drink water. So when he drinks water to the full, so he is marwi. In the same way, those who observe fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are in dire need when it is the time of Maghrib. They are in dire need to eat and to have water to fill their stomach. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them in the hereafter with specifying that particular gate to the Jannah. It is just for as-sa'imun. This is just for as-sa'imun, those who observe fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who observe fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. None else would enter the Jannah from that particular door or gate, but it is just only for as-sa'imun. Just only for as-sa'imun. So, for today's lesson, what are the breakers of fasting? What are the things if one does it during the day of the month of Ramadan? When I'm speaking about the day of the month of Ramadan, not the night. Not the night. And the night starts from Maghrib. Pay me attention, please, brothers and sisters. The night of Ramadan and the night of any day usually starts from the Maghrib until it is the dawn. Until it is the dawn. And this is in the Quran. This is in the Quran. So, what are the breakers of fasting? What are the things if one do while fasting, his siyam is nullified. His siyam is not correct. So number one, Ayub, what is the first one? Eating and drinking. But not like that. Just eating and drinking?
No, that's not the only one.
That's not my point, brother. My point is that intentional eating and drinking.
Yeah.
Intentional eating and drinking. Yeah, so that's number one. Yeah. That's fiqh. Eating, drinking. Intentional eating and drinking. Why we say intentional? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His infinite mercy, He subhanahu wa ta'ala would not hold the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam accountable for nisyan, forgetfulness. So, if somebody forgets and eat or drinks during the day of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept his siyam. And his siyam is okay. His siyam is right. His siyam is right, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept his siyam from him. And this is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Whosoever forgets and eats or drinks during the day of Ramadan, let him or her complete his and her siyam, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who feeds and waters him. This is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This means that if one intentionally eats or drinks during the day of Ramadan, his fasting is null and void. But if he forgets and eats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all merciful, and his siyam is still accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's number one. What do you think number two would be? Yes, what's number two?
Does he have to give order or?
No.
Oh, okay. Like when we talk about fasting, isn't that also like
What?
you have to keep yourself like the speech?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Vomiting. Yeah. Vomiting. Intentional vomiting. So if someone intentionally vomits, meaning that, for example, he will put his finger inside his mouth like that, and thus food comes out from his stomach outside, so he has broken his fast. So intentional vomiting. But if someone has a disease and this disease makes him vomit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all merciful, and his siyam is still accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So intentional vomiting, according to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So number one, intentional eating and drinking. Number two, intentional vomiting. So what's number three? So let me ask you. Yes, Adam, go ahead. Yeah, that's it. Having sexual intercourse with wife. Having sexual intercourse with wife. And brother and sister, please pay attention and beware, because this is the most dangerous one. Why? Because the expiation, one should pay a ransom for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to make up the day. And I'm going to speak about that point right now. So, having sexual intercourse with his wife. even without ejaculation. Even without ejaculation of sperm. Just to have sexual intercourse with your wife during the day of Ramadan breaks your fasting. Breaks your fasting. That's why we have a sunnah from the Prophet ﷺ in which he ﷺ instructs us. If someone cannot control himself, so let him keep away from his wife during the day of Ramadan. Don't go near. Yeah, this is sunnah from the Prophet ﷺ. Lady Aisha was asked, pay attention please. This is fiqh, this is deen. Lady Aisha was once asked, did the Prophet ﷺ kiss you while he was fasting? He says, yes. But who among you is like the Prophet ﷺ? Who among you is like the Prophet ﷺ? Why did she say that statement? She means that the Prophet ﷺ had full control over himself. Meaning that this kissing wouldn't lead him ﷺ to have sexual intercourse with her. And that this kissing wouldn't lead him ﷺ to ejaculate sperm. That's the point. So, one should keep away from his wife during the day of Ramadan. I don't mean to forsake the house or to go outside the house. No. Just don't make anything that might entice you, that might urge you to have sexual intercourse with your wife during the day of Ramadan. Why? Because as I said, the punishment of that one is very hard. Why? I will finish the nullifiers of the precursors and I'll go back to that one. So, I have intentional eating and drinking, and I have vomiting intentionally during the day of Ramadan, and I have sexual intercourse with wife. What else? What else? What? No. This is the point. Even if one, we know that backbiting, saying bad speech, telling lies, all of these things are totally prohibited by Islam. But still does not nullify fasting. Does not break fasting. Okay? So, we have intentional ejaculation of sperm. Intentional ejaculation of sperm. One man is sitting alone and he's thinking of so until he ejaculates. He intentionally does so. This means that his fasting is breaking. His fasting is broken. His fasting is broken. So, once again, intentional eating and drinking, vomiting intentionally, having sexual intercourse with one's wife, intentional ejaculation of sperm. But what if one sees a wet dream? He is asleep during the day of Ramadan and he sees a wet dream. Does this wet dream, or does the ejaculation that took place while he was asleep nullify or breaks his fasting? No. Why? Because he's a fasting. And also the Prophet ﷺ said that this religion of Islam is full of mercy. Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't hold us accountable, wouldn't bring us accountable for the things done to us while asleep. رفع عن أمة الخطأ والنسيان ورفع القلم منهم وعن النائم حتى يستيقظ. عن النائم حتى يستيقظ. Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't hold you accountable for the deeds you do. Sometimes one might have a wet dream while sleeping. Okay? So this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not hold you accountable for that act because you are asleep. Because you are asleep. So, intentional ejaculation of sperm. 5. What is 5? Do you know hajama? Hajama. This is sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. Yeah. Getting out the bad blood from the body. Scholars said that hajama is cupping. Cupping. And it's called cupping, I think. It's called like that in English because those who do it use cups. Use cups to get out the bad blood from the body. Why do you think that scholar said that hajama nullify or breaks the fasting of the day of Ramadan? And when a lot of blood comes out, this means that excellent. When a lot of blood comes out, this means that you got weak. And when you are weak, you wouldn't be able to make fasting during the day of Ramadan. That's why, brothers and sisters, some scholars say that it is also prohibited to donate blood during the day of Ramadan. Even donation of blood is not permissible during the day of Ramadan. Why? Because donation of blood might make you weak. Might make you weak. And if you are weak, you wouldn't be able to observe fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You wouldn't be able to observe fasting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Would that be the same as the
Emergency other time. So we speak, when we speak or say a general a fiqh ruling, okay, we are speaking in general. This is the general case. Necessity, emergency is another point. إِلَّا مَا اضْطُرِرْتُمْ إِلَيْهِ. And you say now we take social distance in prayer. Why? Because we are forced to do that. It's a necessity. It's a necessity. Yes. So once again, intentional eating, drinking, vomiting intentionally, having sexual intercourse with one's wife, intentional ejaculation of sperm, and cupping. Okay. Some scholars say that you know that stuff that makes good smell, bukhur. Yeah, it's called I think it's called English incense.
Oh yeah.
Incense. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's number 6. Scholars say that smelling that's much incense intentionally. You go and you burn it, and then you put your nose like that on it and smell it like that. Scholars say that this act also nullifies fasting and it breaks fasting. That's why a Muslim must keep away from it. Concerning also rinsing your mouth during making wudu, during making ablution, and snuffing up water in wudu. The Prophet ﷺ told you, when you are fasting, don't exaggerate. Don't do that too much. It's just enough to do like that. Just not to take too much money, and put it into your mouth or put it into your water. Yeah, I said money. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, too much water and put it into your mouth or your nose. Why? Because this any droplet of water might come into your throat and then into your stomach, and this your your fast would be nullified, would be broken. Okay. So brothers and sisters, please pay me attention. For this one, and this one. All of the breakers, with the exception of number 4, number 3, yes, number 3. You are obliged to make up the fasting. That's clear? You eat, for example, someone intentionally eats during the day of Ramadan. So he must make up that day. If someone intentionally vomits, he must make up that day. If someone ejaculates intentionally, he must make up that day. And so on and so forth. Except for having sexual intercourse with one's wife. But there is also a point, which is that don't think that it would go like that to intentionally break your fast during the day of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, this is a very serious hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said that whosoever intentionally breaks his fast during the day of Ramadan, fasting for the entire year would not make it up. Fasting during the entire year, this means that if that person makes fasting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 365 days, fasting during this period, during 365 days, would not make up the day of Ramadan. Wouldn't make up for the day of Ramadan. Yeah, because Ramadan is one of the great months in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's one of the great months of the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why when it is the day of Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ, when Ramadan is going to come, the Prophet ﷺ used to say to the companions, "O people, a great month is about to come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obliged you to fast its day, the day of the month of Ramadan, and to make salah in its night. Okay? And there is one night in that month that is better than 1,000 months, which is Laylatul Qadr, which is Laylatul Al-Qadr, which is Laylatul Al-Qadr. So, when we say that intentional vomiting, intentional ejaculation, intentional so and so, this doesn't mean that you are allowed in a way to break your fasting. If you do so, it's a major sin. If someone intentionally breaks his fast, it's a major sin. Concerning the third point, which is for having sexual intercourse with his wife, a person would be obliged to make, number one, make up the day. Number two, would expiate or make kafara. So what is the kafara to be made? Not just like that. From the very beginning. Sinali, I told you yesterday about the kafara. What is it? Number one, freeing a slave. But we don't have slaves today. So let's go to the second option, which is yeah, fasting 2 consecutive months. On condition that if he fasts, for example, 85 days, and when it is the 58 days, and if it is the 59, if he or she breaks fasting in the 59 day, he would make it up from the very beginning. He would make it up, yeah, that's because the day of Ramadan is very great for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once again, number one, the one who had sexual intercourse with his wife during the day of Ramadan must do that. He must make up the day. That's number one. Number two, he must pay ransom or make expiation. What is the expiation required from him? Number one, to free a slave. But we don't have slaves today. So let's go to the second point, which is fasting 2 consecutive months. 60 days. If it is the 59 day and he breaks his fast, unless for necessity, of course, he should make up from the very beginning. And number 3, if he is unable to make fasting, what is number 3? Feeding 60 needy person. So number one, freeing a slave who don't have a slave. Number 2, fasting 60 days, consecutive days. Number 3, feeding 60 person. It's not optional. The point is that it's not optional, meaning that I'm not gonna choose. I cannot choose. I must take them in order. So I'm gonna no slave. I go to fasting. If I'm able to fast, I must fast. So if not, so please go to the third one, which is feeding 60 person. Feeding 60 needy person. Now, the kafara is just on the husband or on the couple? Both. Excellent. The kafara is in both of them. But what if the husband forced his wife to do that? For example, he would say to her, if you don't come to my bed right now, I will divorce you. He is the one who should make up for the day and make kafara. And for she would just make up for the day. So that's another point. That's another important point. If the couple, the husband and the wife, made this intentionally during the day of Ramadan, both of them should make up for the day and both of them should make kafara. In that way. But the point also is that, what if the husband forced his wife to do that? And in the same example I told you right now about it, he would say to his wife, if you don't come to my bed right now, I would divorce you. So she had to go to his bed, otherwise she would be divorced. So in that case, we said the husband should make up for the day and make kafara, and for the woman to make up for the day. Just make up for the day. Okay. What about those patients? Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure all of the Muslims and all of those patients and ill people. What if about the medication, like injection taken during the day of Ramadan, insulin, something like that? Medications, as long as it is away from supplementary food and injections, are allowed. Okay? Someone maybe forced, the doctor tell him, to take that medicine, not via mouth. Not via mouth. Yeah, take care. I'm speaking about injection. About injection. I'm speaking about some pills or something like that. No, not from mouth. Okay? Those people, if a doctor said to them, you are supposed or obliged to take insulin, for example, he's allowed to do so. If a doctor tells him, you should take this injection at the day of Ramadan, as long as it is not supplementary. What do you mean by supplementary?
To boost your energy.
Yeah, something to make you to have more energy, something like that. Okay, that is allowed. Any supplementary, rejected at all. Any supplementary, rejected at all. Okay. Concerning those droplets that are put in the eyes and that are put in the ears, someone might have disease in his eye or in his ear, something like that, and he has to use these droplets, right? Scholars say that most of them believe that they are not breaking the fast. They are not breaking the fast. But what about the droplets that are used in the nose? They say that in case these droplets don't reach the throat, they are okay. They are okay. But usually those droplets come to the throat because this nose is open here, is open to that. That's why we said that if there is a possibility to keep away from taking that of the nose, because we even in Arabic we say هذا منفذ مفتوح, meaning that the nose has a way directly to the stomach. If you put anything in your nose, it will come into your mouth and from your mouth into your stomach. That's why we say if there's a possibility to keep away from using the droplets of the nose in the day of Ramadan, it would be okay. It would be okay. Okay. Also, some people might suffer from being unable to relieve themselves. The digestive system in their stomach is not good. It's not working good. That's why they sometimes might be in need for something to make them relieve themselves. Stuff like that. Okay. So scholars say that this thing also, or this stuff also does not break one's fasting. Does not break one's fasting.
As long as the injection.
No, I'm not speaking about that. I'm going to say it once again. Sometimes somebody or a person might have problems in his digestive system. He is unable to relieve himself. He cannot go to the bathroom. So that's why a doctor might prescribe for him something as like an injection. Yeah, an injection like that. You got my point? Scholars say that this injection don't break the fasting. Don't break the fast. Yes, Adam.
What about some brothers? They don't have injection, but they have like tube. What's his name?
It's something like the squeeze. No,
not that. I'm talking about.
That's my point. That's what I mean.
They go inside the body.
That's my point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I mean. That's it. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, once again, I'm gonna say these speakers in brief. Number one, intentional eating and drinking, intentional vomiting, having sexual intercourse, and this is the most serious one, intentional ejaculation of sperm, cupping, and smelling incense during the day of Ramadan. Bad speech, backbiting, telling lies, all of these acts are totally prohibited in Islam, but they do not break fasting. I'm saying to you to backbite people and to do something like that. No, but I just it is a Shari'i ruling that I'm clarifying for you. Yeah. Music doesn't also break fasting, but it's haram. Yes. The reward, but does not break the fast.
Yeah.
My point is breaking the fast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, go ahead.
What about if the woman forces
It's not a good question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
you? I
barakatuh.
have a question. So, for concerning someone who has to be on